Welcome to Story Time with Candy. One of the questions I get asked frequently is, how did I get into latex modelling? And I wish I had like a super cool answer. Well, I think I kind of do, but it's probably not how you expected. Back in the day, I used to love entering a competition. Like, I'm not even kidding, I would enter so many competitions throughout the year. Now, there was one competition in particular back in 2013 that I entered that not only got me into latex, but also got me a lifelong friend. Some of you may already know what I'm on about and who I'm on about, but I entered a competition back in 2013, a modelling competition over on Facebook. A studio was looking for a new face to photograph, and you was going to get a makeover by none other than Ruby True. Now, if you followed me online for a very long time, you will already know that me and Ruby are very good friends, and this is how our friendship began. From what I can recall, the competition was like, had to get people to vote for you via likes and stuff, and there was a lot of models at the time who had amazing pictures, and I didn't think I was gonna win. If I'm telling the truth, like, I just didn't see me winning. However, this was the photo I submitted, and let's face it, it is pretty cool, right? So that was the photo I entered with, and I rallied round. I didn't have any like followers at the time, just rallied around friends and family and got them to share me and got them to vote for me. And it really was like a little labor of love to get myself in front of Ruby and the studio and to just try and win this competition. I thought this competition would be the perfect opportunity for me to get myself out there more, get myself seen, and get some really cool shots, as well as working with a really well established model. Anyway, fast forward, and I win the competition. Amazing. It comes right down to the wire, and the studio and Ruby had to pick someone from the winners, and they picked me. And I was blown away, and I was so over the moon and happy. Like, I cannot express how ecstatic I was that I'd won this competition. Like, you gotta think, I've been in this industry for nearly 10 years, if not 10 years. And internet was in its infancy still, like social media was still in its infancy. This was all new. This was such a great opportunity for me and my career. So I go along on the date that we all agree on, and I turn up there and have my makeup and hair done, my nails painted, like I had special treatment, all the outfits were there waiting for me, the studio was epic, and in these outfits to choose from was a bunch of latex. Now, these latex pieces were my first experience with latex, and I learned so much this day, like so much about latex and what you should or shouldn't wear underneath it, and just, yeah, my whole experience with it was just, it was so good. And to have Ruby guide me through it was really awesome. Like, I really enjoyed my day, and I just had so much fun modeling the latex. The dress was my absolute favourite though. Can we appreciate how awesome this latex dress is? Which is quite funny because since then I haven't really modelled many latex dresses, but that was my favourite latex piece of the day. And like I said, this was my first experience with latex. It actually came about because I won a competition to model it. So as I mentioned, 2013 was my first experience with latex. Now fast forward a little bit more and we hit 2014. I am going back some, I am quite aware, probably showing my age as well. I messaged Catalyst Latex to see if they'd be up for collaborating with an idea myself and Nandy Forward Photography had. The concept was that we really wanted a black leotard to go against the graffiti walls that we had found out in the wild, and here's some of the shots that we took. Now these are still some of my favourite shots to date. I haven't really done much outside latex shooting, mainly because CBA to get into it and then go out in public and shoot it. I know it's like super popular to do so, like people love latex outdoors, but this was my first kind of experience with this, and I put like joggers and a t-shirt over the top and then had this massive coat. Like, you would never know that I had this on. I did also shoot this in February because I'm nuts. If you're not from the UK, the February time here is freezing, so I was out in public in this black latex leotard in freezing conditions, but we suffer for art, right? I actually have a picture of me drinking a hot chocolate in Wetherspoons after. I will try and put it in here if I can find it. It was such a great shoot, and again, still really love the images. Like I said, they just remind me of a completely different time in my life, and they just make me so happy to see. Now that's only 2 latex experiences, I hear you say, and the third one comes later in 2014 when I, by default, got to model Kaori's Latex Dreams Poison Ivy cosplay. Now if you're not sure about the cosplay that I'm referencing, here it is. I'm pretty sure you must know this one because it seemed to do the rounds on the internet at the time, like it blew up. And again, social media was still quite in its infancy, so it really was like, wow, okay, people are paying attention to this. I mean, I can see why they're paying attention to it, but they were paying attention to it nonetheless. Like I said, I wasn't actually meant to model this cosplay. This cosplay was sent to Justine for another model and they just didn't turn up, or for some reason the shoot didn't happen, but Justine had promised Kaori that she'd shoot it, so I, by default with my red hair, shot it. This is also where my cosplay snowballed into the career I've had from it now. So this was my third experience with latex, and it was a bit more relaxed because obviously it was in a home studio, so I sort of got changed in my leisure and just sort of modelled it in Justine's living room at the time because that was where her studio was. She'd just like set up the backdrop and that, and we'd go for it. And again, I just really loved the effect it gave, especially for like a cosplay and a character. I just think it finished off the design really, really well. I then was opened up to the world of cosplay, which I didn't really know existed until this point. With that in mind, and the fact that my latex Poison Ivy had done really well, like the shots of it had done really well online, I decided to contact Catalyst Latex about making me a Jessie Team Rocket cosplay to wear to MCM. This cosplay was the first latex cosplay I ever wore to a Comic Con. It was one of my first con experiences too, and it just went down so well. Like I said, I actually commissioned Catalyst Latex to make me this because I just had this idea that it would look sick in latex, especially because like the cartoon always gave me PVC tight fitted vibes, so I was like, from latex this is going to be dreamy. When I get to con, it's super popular. I mean, it's latex, it's always going to do well, and I just had a blast wearing it. If you can't see, Rocket has been here the whole time. He's just been very, very good, and you didn't know. But it's time for him to say goodbye. Commissioning this cosplay actually snowballed me and Catalyst Latex just working with each other, and from then on you have seen me wear so many of their latex cosplay designs. I've really enjoyed the fact that we can bond over being geeky and the fact that we both obviously love latex. Now, I've always seen latex in a different way, and I've always wanted to wear latex in a different way to most and how it's exposed to the world and the people viewing it. Now you might be thinking, Candy, I don't understand what you mean. I have always loved wearing latex in a non-obvious way, and it's kind of hard to explain what I mean, but I've always really just loved creating concepts and ideas to do with latex where people think, oh wow, what an amazing cosplay, and then go, oh my god, it's latex. I've always wanted the cosplay or the costume or the outfit that I'm wearing to be the forefront, and then people realize as a double awesome that it's latex. I think latex is such an incredible material, and it makes everything look so much cooler and so much more badass that I just wanted to celebrate it and try and like get it more mainstream and people to realize it can be more than what it's sold as predominantly. And that's something I've always taken pride in and advocated, that latex can be worn by anyone for any reason. Back in 2019, I had yet another new latex experience where one of my followers kindly gifted me a latex catsuit. Now, wearing a latex catsuit is like nothing I'd ever done before. I spent a lot of time in latex leotards or latex two-pieces or latex dresses, but I'd never gone to the extent of wearing a latex catsuit before. This was why one of my followers was like, oh my god, we need to get you a catsuit, like this needs to happen. So you can be thankful to Jin for that. He is the main reason that that catsuit even exists and has been worn for quite a lot of photo shoots after the point. Like I said, wearing a catsuit was a whole new experience for me, and I had to learn how to get in it properly and not damage it whilst getting in and out, and it was just, yeah. My catsuit's from Livedex, and I'll put a photo of it here. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen it, especially if you've been watching past videos here, but this is the black latex catsuit in question. Like I said, this was a whole new thing for me. I'm working out, getting in, getting out, and keeping it safe. I really love how form-fitting this catsuit is. It's made ridiculously well, and it just is so figure hugging. I love it. Like, wearing a catsuit is so hard to get in and out of it, but when it's on, oh, it's so worth it. 2021 also marked another latex experience for me when I was generously gifted a latex corset. Now these corsets work slightly different to normal corsets, I guess you can say. They still look epic, and I made sure that I picked the fit really well. Here's a picture of what I mean. As you can tell, it looks super cool layered over my latex catsuit. This was the first experience of also latex layering, and it really made for an interesting vibe and look, and I can't wait to team my corset with more latex things as time goes on. This is where my latex story began. I literally won a competition back in 2013 that happened to have latex outfits on hand. I got to experience it. I loved how they looked. I loved how tight fitting and form fitting it was. I love how colourful my outfits were of the day, and I just really enjoyed it. And from there, I knew that I needed to wear it more and more because it made everything look so much cooler. I hope you enjoyed my little latex story time and picture show. I really did enjoy sharing these images with you. It reminds me of so many moments in my life that made me so happy, and I am so grateful that I got to have this adventure. Shout out to Catalyst Latex, who took a huge risk on me back in the day. Like, I was a new model. I had barely any followers. I didn't even have like 4,000 followers, and they lent me that latex leotard to shoot outside in, and they just trusted me from the get-go, and so many companies wasn't, and they weren't taking risks with me, and they obviously saw something that I couldn't see at the time, and they took that risk, and from then we have created such an amazing partnership. Things like that honestly make me feel so blessed that people could see something in me at the time when I was first starting out that they thought that they'd continue to get involved with. Like I said, me and Ruby have been friends since 2013. We've been friends that long, nearly as long as I've been doing this as a career. You can make friends for life, honestly, without even realizing it's going to happen, and I was just so grateful for the opportunities that I was given back then. I'm still so grateful for all the opportunities that I'm given now. Without people like yourself watching my videos and supporting my content, I would never have got this far, and I would never have got to have all these amazing latex experiences since my first time in 2013. You honestly make all of my shiny dreams come true, and I have so much more awesome latex content to bring you. Before you go, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let me know your favorite of my past latex photo shoots below. Also, let me know if you'd like me to do more videos like this in the future, because I'm always interested in feedback. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe.